major US attack on 3 Iranian nuclear sites on Sunday, European and global reactions have been divided.
Israel says US and Tel Aviv's early Sunday attacks on Iran were carried out in full coordination. Iran says there is no red line that the US has not crossed following its early Sunday attacks on Iran's nuclear facilities. The Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi condemned the attacks and demanded an emergency UN Security Council session.
The United States itself has now also opted for a dangerous military operation and aggression against the people of Iran. In doing so, the US administration holds sole and full responsibility for the consequences of its actions.
Araghchi added that under the principles of the UN Charter, Iran has the right to self-defense. The Iranian foreign minister plans on being in Moscow Monday to meet with Russian President Putin to discuss the situation. Meanwhile, Israeli released footage claims their attacks struck Iranian soldiers and missile launchers.
Iran launched a wave of ballistic missiles at northern and central Israel just hours after the United States bombed 3 of its nuclear sites. Local media reported residential areas in Tel Aviv and the central town of Nes Ziona were struck, wounding at least 86 people. The health ministry reported that among those who arrived at hospitals, 2 were moderately wounded and 77 were in good condition. Meanwhile, in the northern city of Haifa, a military spokesperson said an Israeli air defense interceptor malfunctioned and crashed during the Iranian attack, causing damage and lightly wounding several. Israel and Iran have been exchanging fire ever since Israel launched an attack against Iran's nuclear facilities on June 13th. So far, at least 25 people were killed in Israel, that is according to local media, and in Iran, the health ministry reported at least 430 deaths. After the major US attack on 3 Iranian nuclear sites on Sunday, European and global reactions have been divided. While Israel and some nations applauded US President Donald Trump's move, others have called for immediate de-escalation and a return to the negotiating table. President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, called on all parties to show restraint and respect for international law and nuclear safety. He emphasized that diplomacy is the only way forward to achieve peace and security. The European Union's High Representative Kaja Kallas also called on all actors to return to the negotiating table. She reminded that Iran's ability to develop a nuclear weapon would be a threat to international security. And United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres felt deeply alarmed with the news of the attack. He warned that the conflict in the region could spin out of control. He also called on member states to de-escalate and uphold their obligations under international law. The Russian foreign minister also urged for a return to diplomacy. He strongly condemned the attack and said the US had violated international law. Today, more than ever, humanity cries out and pleads for peace. That is what Pope Leo XIV said. He warned the war amplifies problems and creates deep wounds without providing lasting solutions.
The International Atomic Agency called for a crisis meeting for Monday after the latest attacks by the US on Iranian nuclear sites. The watchdog will assess the situation at its Vienna headquarters. After the US bombed the Natanz, the Fordo and the Isfahan sites in Iran, the agency said no off-site radiation has been detected. This was confirmed by the Iranian authorities as well. The scope of the damage is not clear yet. The main target of the US bombs was the enrichment facility at Fordo, which is 80 meters underground. Only US bunker buster bombs were able to reach its holes. Fordo was the cornerstone of Iran's nuclear program, built for uranium enrichment and for research.